our young lady is going to end the month, and she also started the month off for us. It's called Overflow Season, the season of overflow. She's always come with a great message, and we really appreciate her leadership and her retreats up in her place, up in the mountains there. I just love her conversation. Without further ado, Regional Vice President Platinum, the one, the only, the great. Can we give a great round of applause to her, because she blesses us every Monday in the month of February. Miss Jocelyn Driskill, Regional Vice President Platinum.
To all of you. It's so great to be here. Thank you, Mr. Thomas, so much always for your kind introduction and your great big smile and energy. I love where you said to yourself, slow down, Mr. Thomas. I never like you slowing down because that's just who you are, full of energy, full of life. You bring so much value to the table wherever you go. And I can tell you, you're 100% gold in my life, a treasure. And I truly, truly appreciate always trusting in me, the platform, to be able to be here and speak to the people that are attracted to you. So I'm grateful. Thank you so much for what you do around the world as an impactor and a circle of champion. Yeah, I believe, I agree with you. Influencer is not the word. It's not. It has to go back to Circle of Champions. I just think so too. But also I want to thank Mr. Jabri Clemens for all his hard labor that behind the scenes, where he just gives of his heart and his soul to help this group and all of us around ACN to be better. And I'm just grateful for you, Mr. Clemens. Thank you so, so, so much for what you do for us. So I get to dive in, finish out February with the Overflow Season series. I'm telling you, 2022 is going to be an overflow if you follow and really step in and launch into the deep. Now, my topic today, as you heard the song, the song is called Say I Won't. And just test me. Just say I won't, because watch out. That's the attitude you have to have in life. Is it doesn't matter what people say, what they don't say, you know, all the negativity that comes flying your way. But the thing is you got to lock into your focus, and you got to unlock your limitations. You're going to hear from Bishop Jakes today. Is it okay if I'm always my authentic self? I can't come here without being everything that I know what it takes inside of you to get to where you want to go. And I can truly tell you where you are in your life with the Lord, or who that is to you, the universe, whatever you want to call it. You hear Mr. Thomas talk about that. You hear Mr. Nelson talk about that. But in my world, number one is right here. And I'm going to always share him. And you take this message today for how it needs to impact and hit you. You're going to hear from a gal that I'm brand new working with. In fact, I can't wait for you to hear from her. She is such a lover of the Lord, and she is doing phenomenal things. But before I do talk about what's going on, because I'm going to tie ACN and this message, and there's someone here that this one message right here is going to impact you. It's going to impact you. I promise you, there's someone here waiting to hear this message, because someone didn't want to get it out today. So here we go. I'm going to share my screen. I have a couple clips, but I'm going to only play the first one first. Just try and say I won't. ACN put out this promo. It said, I can and I will. And I want you to put that in your spirit right now, that I can and I will. And say I won't. Just watch me walk on water. Okay. So this clip is coming from the Unlock Your Limitations series that Mr. Bishop Jakes has shared, and it's phenomenal. Go watch the whole thing. It's like an hour and 40 minutes or something, but there's just a couple clips from it, and it will impact you.
When he had left speaking, he said unto Simon, launch out into the deep and let down your nets for a drought. And Simon answering him said unto him, Master, we have toiled all the night and have taken nothing. Nevertheless, at thy word, I will let down the net. And when they had this done, they enclosed a great multitude of fishes, and their net began to break. And they beckoned unto their partners, which were in the other ships, said, we need some help, that they should come and help them. You got to have some folk around you. Oh, God. You got to have some folk around you that can help you. Not that can pull you down. You need some help. In fact, for what God is getting ready to do in your life, you're going to need some help. You're going to need some help. What God is getting ready to give you is too big for your boat. Glory to God. You need that in your spirit right now. You're going to need some help to bring this in. Glory to God. And they came and filled both the ships so that they began to sink. I told you. Good God Almighty. When Simon Peter saw it, he fell down at Jesus' knees, saying, depart from me, for I, Lord, I am a sinful man, O Lord. For he was astonished, and all that were with him at the draught of the fishes which they had taken. And so was also James and John, the sons of Zebedee, which were partners with Simon. And Jesus said unto Simon, fear not, from henceforth thou shalt catch men. Oh, God. Lord, have mercy. Ooh. My subject this morning is unlock your limitations. Unlock your limitations. In other words, take the brakes off. There are no limits to what God is going to do.
There is no limits to what God is going to do. But you need people around you. You need to call them in, right? Fishers of men, you're going to catch men, not fish. But you need people to help you draw them in. How many of you are calling in the people to come into your life, and you're getting out there and you're talking to people? And, you know, when you're really focused on what you want to do, in my world, I say I'm doing it for his glory, his kingdom. This business is truly a place for kingdom entrepreneurs. Mr. Thomas knows this very well. But who are you drawing in to be fishers of men with you? And unlocking your limitations, because that's the fact, is so many of us have these limitations in our head that it stifles us to go do what we're supposed to be doing. And this gift of this business placed in our life, people are waiting for you to open your mouth. People like Tony and I back in 2009 are waiting to hear from you and to be shown this business. And why I'm going to dive into this piece of it, which is going to take us into hearing from someone who has been watching me on social media, who I met through my publisher, and I'll talk about her as well. And you've heard me mention them, but I'm going to have a little more focus on it. And we actually met one time at a Grit and Grace conference back in Las Vegas, where Mr. Thomas lives. And we met there, and she was, her book was being seen for the first time. Our publisher was there, and it was incredible. And I met her, and we had some, connection and so forth. And we just stayed in touch a little bit here and there, but she'd been watching me. How many of you know that you're being watched? No matter what you do, you're being watched. and people are seeing how faithful you are, what your walk is, what you say you're going to do. Say, I won't. Are you listening to what they say you won't do? Are you saying, oh, say I won't? You got to put the punctuation in the different place, right? So I'm just telling you, she reached out to me, saw some posts I had, because guess what? I'm out there. I'm out there fishing. I'm in the boat. I'm called, right? And I'm at the events. I'm at the Dallas event. I'm at the first Dallas event. I'm at the Orange County event. I'm at doing my own event here in Monterey with our leaders. I'm in Tahoe. I'm still out there, 2 years of a pandemic, but I'm still out there because people are waiting for us. You just have to stay faithful to your walk in this business and know that people are watching and they're wondering if you really are who you say you are. And so she reached out to me and she said, you know what? And the next time you have an event like that, she has no idea what the event is because I don't really go into the details on social media. It just looks like a place you want to be. I'm telling you, it's a place you want to be. It's full of people that you want to surround yourself with. And she knew that. There was a tug on her heart. If you're calling in people, there are going to be tugs on their hearts to call you too, to reach out to you. And she reached out to me. The bottom line is she reached out to me. I said, then I told her, I said, Elaine, the Dallas event is coming. You want to go? It was like 2 weeks prior. She said, yes, I want to go. It was a place in her life where she knew that that's what she needed to do, but she didn't know why. And I'll tell you, within 1 hour, she already had her airline ticket. She called me. I have my airline ticket. I've gotten myself registered. In fact, I have my pastor. Congratulations, Pastor Thomas, on your regional coordinator promotion that Mr. Thomas just shared. But Elaine had a pastor friend of hers in Houston who she invited, and she said, I have my pastor friend coming up with me. You guys, when you're doing the right things and you unlock your limitations and you say, I won't, I'm telling you, it will start falling into place and the fish are going to overflow into your boat. And you're going to have people like Elaine, and I'm going to share my screen here, Elaine Romero, who comes to an event like Dallas and had no idea. She hadn't even seen a presentation. Yeah, here's an after hours. We're cheering each other, having an incredible time together. But this is where it began. If you make a decision to go to OKC, you might have an Elaine show up there with you. If you're intentional, your intentions are seen, other people see your intentions. When you sit back and you think about it, and when I hear people say, I don't have money, hey, we all started somewhere where we didn't have money. But when there's a will, there's always a way. And that's your reason why you don't, why you should, right? Tony and I knew this as a fact that we can't keep using that excuse of why we don't, because we'll always be there. When you speak life to broke, you'll always be there. And you have to invest to earn, don't earn to invest in a business. And when you show up, you're going to see that vision that you have come alive. So if you're hesitating on OKC, and I wasn't even going to talk about this, but someone needs to hear this, you better get off this line right now and go register, because your Elaine is waiting for you. Your Dr. Laura and Gabriel Ortiz are waiting for you. I'm going to share this with you. So I'm going to show you this next slide. And this is where we started. Elaine came and saw this information and she was overwhelmed. And I just told her, just take what you can and what God needs to give you. And it doesn't matter all the rest. Just you're here. You made it happen. You're here. And the pastor was loving every minute of it. And she said, Elaine, this is it. She told Elaine, she spoke life into it over Elaine, and she was incredible. We had God moment after God moment after God moment throughout that weekend and still continue to. So this is where it started. She got started in the business And it's so funny because she hadn't seen a presentation until I had one of the Canadian regional directors who found us in the lobby. We had breakfast and I just let her present to her. But it's crazy, you guys, how these events can really impact and change your life. But I'm going to bring on Elaine to share just a quick 1 to 2 minute testimonial of why she's excited and how this moved her, and what her vision is, because the vision will come alive when you make those decisions to really step in and you step in the boat, step out of the boat and walk on water. Whatever it is, you got to get out on the water and launch into the deep. You got to go into the deep. Stop standing in shallow and taking your feet out of the water. You got to go in. So Elaine, if you don't mind hopping on with us, I'm excited for you to share just really quickly why you're excited, what that event did for you, and where you're going. Elaine, are you there? I know I heard her voice. There you are.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. And first of all, I give God all the glory and honor in my life every day because of who he is. Just like Jocelyn shared briefly there, that God opened this door for me. And that's just the bottom line. I had not even finances to go to this conference. None. I'm like, and I started feeling sorry for myself for a minute, but God said, stop. So God said, if it's your will, God, I will go. The door opened. I mean, within the hour, I had my flight paid for, I had my room paid for, and my registration. Everything opened. So I know that it's God's journey. I know that it's God. And, just like hearing Mr. Thompson, the circle of champions, being around people that are going to uplift you and not being around people, you want to soar with eagles. You want to soar because God called us to soar. And no matter what you've come from, no matter what background you've come from, no matter how hard life has been, the trials, the tribulations, because we all face them. But one thing I could honestly tell you is God has opened this door. And I'm so grateful for this woman right here, Jocelyn. She is truly the queen of hearts, for she has a love for the heart of people, genuine, because I'm just an average person, but I'm a king of the Most High God. I'm a queen of the Most High God. And I'm so excited for this play, for this ACN and the people, not so much of the business. Yes, but it's just being around the people that can motivate you and build you and speak life into you. And I'm excited. I've had a few people sign up and go, and I'm moving, and I'm not going to stop because I go back to my base, because the base is God opened the door. So he will supply all of my needs according to his riches and his glory. And I'm so excited to work along this amazing team. I'm going to Oklahoma. Here I go. I'm like, what am I doing? Here I go. But you know what? I'm not looking back. So I just, I encourage, I'm encouraged. I'm motivated, and I'm excited for the learning process. I'm learning because like I said, I don't know how to do this on that computer, or how do you go there, and I'm learning. So it's just a challenge. But if we do not change or make a choice to change, nothing is going to change. We will stay. And I'm not called to stay mediocre in my life. So amen. So thank you, Jocelyn. Thank you, everyone.
Awesome. Fantastic, Elaine. Your spirit is overwhelming, and I know what that journey was for you. You got to meet Mr. Thomas in person there at the after event, and
yes,
she pastors in her church. She's a phenomenal leader herself. She says she's an everyday, but that we all are, right? But we have so many gifts to unlock inside of us, and she needed those gifts unlocked inside of her that have been stifled. And I can tell you, she saw the bigger picture, the bigger vision of where she's going to go. And when she hits an obstacle, she remembers those moments. See, that's what events will do for you, is you lock back into those moments and the people who will breathe life and hope and opportunity into you, and they help unlock your limitations. Because the key that sometimes we put that key in and we lock it up so tight, we don't even know where the key is anymore. And so you have people to help you unlock those limitations. And Elaine, you're a phenomenal, you will be a Circle of Champion. I'll tell you, she's shooting for regional coordinator by Oklahoma City. She's already an executive team leader with bonus in her first 12 days of business. You know, this team is going to be lit on fire. And this is how, this is what I'm going to tell you. You have to launch their business ASAP. It's so important that you don't, you know, we have launch documents and so forth, and we use them, but a launch is every single day of the week for their business. And it's your goal to show them the way, right? You're not responsible for them, you're responsible to them to teach them how to get their business launched. Now, when she saw the big event, she was ready to go, right? But she still didn't know what she was doing. That's a huge event. She just was inspired and moved to do something for her future and not live in the broke. She wants to live in abundance that she was created for. And this is all about getting them launched properly. What does that look like? Private business Zooms, you guys. I don't care if there's one person, 10 people. You just teach them how to invite, and with their excitement, they're going to get people that they're influencers of on those private Zooms. And she has been so committed to private Zooms. We are doing incredible things and have a pipeline already going, and more people just keep feeding out of her onto her list. So private business Zooms are everything. If you're missing this in your business, you're missing it. You have to do these. And again, like I said, start with inviting your first 5 flat tire friends. And if you get just one on there, like I've told her, all we need is one. And we do it times 6 and 7 and 8, right? So private Zooms are everything. Then by that private Zoom, we had like 3 people on that private Zoom. All 3 of them got started different times, but you have Gabriel and Laura Ortiz, and they took a second position in the company as a husband and wife, Laura and Gabe, and then you have Marion. Here's Gabriel and Laura. We're going to have them back on to talk. Unfortunately, they had some illness in their over the weekend and not feeling well. But I'm going to tell you, this is Dr. Laura, who is the publisher. She is really good and good friends and close to Elaine, and that was one of the first people she picked up and called. Now, when I met Laura in person, and that's a whole nother story. We'll share that when she comes on and speaks. But she is my publisher. And I knew from the moment I met her, she would be incredible in this business, and she would see this business at some point, but I knew his timing was perfect, and it was so perfect. And her husband, Gabriel, who has served our armed forces, an incredible man. They both live in Arizona. He works in corporate America right now, always busy doing something. So, you know, you guys, these are the people that you're calling in. I can't wait for you to hear from them at some point. And then you continue to launch those businesses, private business Zooms, have more people on. We've had many. You're going to see one here. There's Elaine, myself, and Irving came on because Marion, who got started right after Laura and Gabe, she was on here also with Anna, who also got started with her husband. Marion is from Colombia. She just finished purchasing a big property in Mexico, and she speaks both languages, English and Spanish. But we had Irving get on, servant leader, regional director in our organization, talk to these ladies, and they could ask questions if they needed to go back and forth from Spanish. But Marion got started in the business, and now in Laura's team. And here we are today as we continue to build this business. We have 2 executive team leader bonus promotions. One is Elaine, one is Gabe and Laura in their first position. Laura and Gabe are just 1 service away from having that second position hit executive team leader bonus. You have Anna and her husband over in Elaine's third line of business. You have Elaine's husband, Charles, who got started, and we have a few more people coming in underneath Charles. And we're just continuing to build as Gabe and Laura are going as well. You can see how their team, just from these private business receptions, have been going on, some of the dates that we are doing, but every week we got something going on, launching the business. Launching a business is private business Zooms, getting people started, moving through getting their customers and so forth. So you guys, this is what I wanted you to see from the power of one event. and someone choosing to launch their nets in the deep and follow what was in her gut. Now this has started, and I'm going to dive into the last clip here.
Maybe Simon that Jesus wants to get to and make him understand what's going on. And he says to Simon what he told me to tell you. Launch out into the deep. Launch out. They don't hear me, Lord. I wish I had a group or a choir, somebody. Is anybody ready for this? Launch out into the deep. Get out of the shallow water. Go out into the deep. Launch out into the deep. God's got something for you, but it's in the deep. Look at somebody and say, you ain't deep enough. The reason it's not happening for you, the reason you're not getting it, the reason you don't get the breakthrough, the reason it's not materializing in your life is that you haven't gone deep enough. And Peter says, Simon says, I can't go, Lord. I've been toiling all night and I didn't ask you about last night. Now somebody say, I'm going out there. I'm going all the way out there. I don't see no fish. I see no sign of fish, but I'm going all the way out there. I was getting ready to give up, but I'm getting ready to have a paradigm shift. Devil, you thought I was going to quit. Psych. You thought I was finished. Psych. You thought I was done. Psych. You thought you had me down, didn't you? Psych. I ain't down. I'm going out into the deep. Nevertheless, at thy word. I'm tired of living within limitations. I'm tired of coloring inside of the lines. I'm tired of being a good little boy and eating my apple and going to bed. I'm getting ready to launch out into the deep. I'm getting ready to get radical. I'm getting ready to go to the next level. Somebody's watching me online. You don't realize that the only reason God gave you a business is so that it could be his platform. And God has maneuvered you into a position so that he could get the glory out of your life. And you're frustrated trying to work out the problems in the business. The problem isn't in the business, the problem is in you. When God gets your attention, everything in your business is going to change. Everything in your life is going to change. Everything on the boat is going to change. Launch out into the deep. Somebody holler, deeper! Oh, Bishop, how can I go deeper? I'm in a pandemic. I don't care what you're in. When God says go into the deep, go into the deep. Stop telling me about the last 2 years. I don't care nothing about that. I want to tell you about the next 2 years. God said launch into the deep. Launch into the deep. Just when they think you're going to wash your nets. Just when they think you're going to quit. Just when they think you're going to stay at Burger King. Launch out! Who am I preaching to? Look at your neighbor and tell him I'm getting ready to launch. If you can't launch, you can't go. If you can't launch, you can't go. If you ain't with me, you can't go. I am no longer willing to stay on the shoreline to keep you company. I'm going to launch out into the deep if I got to launch by myself. If my mama don't go, if my daddy don't go, if my sister, my brother don't go, I'm going to launch out into the deep because I have permission. And once I have permission, I can do it. I know it's not supposed to work in the daytime. The fish are normally biting at night. But if Jesus says it, it's going to happen at any time. Just when the devil thought it wasn't going to happen, just when you thought you missed your season, just when you thought it was over, God said, launch out into the deep.
Launch out into the deep. Just when you thought it was over, psych. Psych, it's not happening. Because say I won't, I'm doing this, right? You take that message. I highly recommend everybody go back and watch that at some point in your day or tomorrow, whatever. Go watch Unlock Your Limitations. It's phenomenal. But this is it, you guys. Let me move something real quick. Hold on. Oops. Hold on one second, almost done. The thing about brave, be bold, believe. The thing about being brave does not come with the absence of fear and hurt. Bravery is the ability to look fear and hurt in the face and say, move aside, you're in my way. Move aside, you're in my way. I don't care who it is, what they say, what they do, how much they hurt you, what fear starts creeping in your head. You got to be brave and bold and believe all the truth that is given to you. You can see me here in Colombia on stages with Mr. Al Labato, Senior Vice President Efren Tejada, Senior Vice President, Mr. Franco LaFranco, Senior Vice President Memo Tahanar, and another Senior Vice President from Mexico. You guys, and Jeff and Melissa Street, Regional Vice President Platinums, all there in Colombia. Jocelyn Driskill standing on that stage. Never could I have imagined the impact that I could make as someone who speaks very little English, little Spanish, taking a translator who is Regional Director, Mr. Irving Herrera, who blessed me and blessed so many people, bringing the company and our integrity to Colombia and Mexico multiple times. I had to be brave and I had to knock out that fear and the hurt of what anybody would ever say. You're not enough. You're not capable of doing this. Hey, get out of my way. Say I won't. And this is the final thought. Millionaire mindset. When you show up, ACN will always show up for you in a big way with overflow of everything, people, money, you name it, they will show up for you, but you got to show up. Remember, vision without execution is always hallucination. If you don't have vision, people will perish. It's the truth. So vision without execution is hallucination. You guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for opening up your mind and your hearts all month long, being a part of what we know is the overflow season for 2022. And Mr. Thomas, I'm going to turn it back to you. And thank you, and so grateful for who you are to me in my life, and showing up for me helps me show up for me. So thank you so much.